welcome! Another episode of It's Mental Podcast. This week we have a really special guest because he is a vampire. So, this vampire man, who are you?
My name is Mihai, Tartara, if my family name is also important. And yes, I'm half vampire, half werewolf. And but besides, I'm also a human at the end of the day. And yes, I don't know what should
Why are you half a vampire, half a werewolf?
Well, because of my parents, One of them is a vampire, another one is a werewolf.
What do you mean they are vampires?
They're just kind of a freak, I guess.
Where are you from?
I'm from Romania.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. That's true. And sorry about that.
What do you do in Berlin?
What I do in Berlin, so I do stand-up comedy, and I'm also a software developer.
Software developer?
Yes.
Okay.
You did those excited about it. Yes, but that's what I do, and with time, I definitely can say that I like attention more than I like programming. But for now, I gotta fill my guts and my heart. So I'm handling this hectic lifestyle for now.
Okay.
And yes, I guess.
Yeah. How old are you?
Me, I am 23.
Wow, you are a baby.
I am a baby.
You look very old though.
Yeah.
I guess poverty really ages people.
Yeah. And I'm also, I'm always, raised by my grandparents. I spend a lot of time with them, so I got some of their mentality, some of the boomer mentality in me. So that's why I will complain, like on New Year, I complain about fireworks. I just don't really. I mean, they're okay, they look nice, but it's just like, and all the dogs, that are screaming and stuff, like on New Year. But let's not get into that.
You are so excited for complaining.
Yeah, I love complaining.
So what brought you to Berlin?
What brought me to Berlin? So I visited Berlin like twice before I moved here, and I liked it from the first time. Like I had because I felt like everybody could fit in here. Like you just by seeing people on the street, you can see that you find everything here, and it's. I don't know if it's necessarily good to take decision based on gut feelings, but in this case, I think it was gut feelings, but I also had some rationale behind it. So I could still work here. So for me, that was more than enough. And the stand-up also, that was a big factor of moving here.
Okay. So you started the stand-up before Berlin?
Yes, I have started stand-up in Denmark while I was studying.
Wow. You were like really into the deep of the privileged Caucasian world.
Yes, I myself have been pretty fortunate in this regard. Like studying in another country and all these things. I am aware of that, but that's why I'm trying to, make the most out of it without feeling guilty when I'm not doing it.
So, what's your mental issues?
My mental issues? Oh, well, anxiety attacks, that's something that I have for many years, and for me, it's just part of how things are. Like, it's just like, because from time to time, I'll be reminding myself that one day I'm gonna die, and that's usually at night, because that's when you're just you with you, and that's the worst part. Because during the day you can forget about these thoughts. You're like, I don't know, you're eating a kebab, you're doing something else, you're not thinking you're gonna die. But then at night you got no distractions, so that's when you're thinking, shit, that's still gonna happen. And I just get these thoughts, and then it's just like a moment of like heavy breathing, just like like I get up from bed, like I move around the room for like a few seconds, I guess it's an anxiety attack. I think that's how I'll describe it. And then I just calm myself down. I just think of some sexual fantasies, and that's how I calm myself down. And I've been doing this for years. So.
And since when it started?
These anxiety attacks, I for as long as I can remember. Like
Wow.
I cannot even remember not having them.
And since when you start to pin down to know, oh, this is anxiety attack?
Like I think I also look a bit about like what anxiety is or something like this, because I also had, but this happened more recently, and I think these are panic attacks. The doctors still, they still haven't figured out. But I also had like panic attacks, which is more like not necessarily realizing that I'm gonna die, but in that moment it's more like impeding death. Like I think I'm gonna die now, because the anxiety is like I realize I'm gonna die at some point. The panic is like I feel like I'm gonna die right now, and that one it's a bit different. Because like with the panic attacks, it's just like, hey, I feel like I'm gonna die now. I feel like I'm choking, and then I also have this thing, which it happened to me before. Like also when I was a kid, I had this shakings. Like I have this, like if it's like a situation with like high emotional, I don't know, value. Like for example, I don't know if my parents will be fighting or something, and that will be something of like emotional turmoil and stuff, and that will make like my legs shake, and especially also like my ass cheeks. As bad as it sounds, but I just have like shakings in my ass cheek. Like my ass will be like like that Black Eyed Peas song, like boom boom pow, like that. That will be like, and that will happen in a panic attack. That will have these shakings and all this stuff, and it will be way worse because it will be lasting like for 20 minutes.
Wow.
Like for 20 minutes, my legs will be shaking. I'll be feeling like I'm gonna die. And
How old were you?
when this first time happened, it was like just 2 years ago almost.
Oh, okay.
So these panic attacks, they came more recently. And because I went to the doctor for this, because I thought it might be from something else, and they did like checks, like blood tests and everything, and all they could find was like vitamin D deficiency, and that was it. But then it still happened. Like this attack still happened. Like the last one I had like maybe like a few weeks ago, something like this. Like just and out of nowhere. That's the worst part about it. It's just I'll just be watching like a YouTube video, and out of nowhere I'll just feel like I cannot breathe. I feel like I'm gonna die, and I start shaking and all
Wow.
these things.
And have you tried some treatment?
I have not tried because until now, like all the doctors I've been, they could not pinpoint what was wrong. Because at first I thought it was related with my epilepsy, because I had epilepsy when I was a kid.
What is epilepsy?
Epilepsy, it's like this disease that makes you like uncontrollably dance, and you have. I mean, it depends from person to person. In my case, it was just that I'll have this shakings in my whole body. So, but different from these panic attacks, because the panic attacks is more like related to the legs and stuff, and the shaking from the seizures will be like whole body, and I will fall. Like I could not be standing up while having them, but they will last only for like 15-20 seconds.
Okay.
Whereas these panic attacks, they'll be last for 20 minutes. And it's way, like I put the panic attacks way over the seizures.
And what do you do during these 20 minutes?
I'm just praying to God, hoping that I'm not gonna die. I don't know.
Do you smoke weed or something?
I try. I mean, sometimes it happens after I smoke weed, like these things happen. And then I thought, oh, maybe the weed is the fault. But then it also happened without anything. So I was like, then it has nothing to do. It's just me that's wrong. I don't know.
You talk about during the anxiety, you are afraid you will die one day. When you think about one day you will die, are you feeling anxious?
Yes.
Interesting, because for me, when I feel one day I die, I feel quite happy. Like I am quite looking forward to it.
I mean, you can look at things in that way and be like, oh yeah, I don't have to go to work anymore and all this stuff. But I'm also thinking in the other way, like, I'm never gonna eat again ice cream and all these other things that I'm gonna miss.
So you actually love this life?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I love it because I got nothing better to do. Like it's not like I can be in any other dimension or something like this. Like this is what I have. I must use this.
For me, I feel like if I don't like if I don't my death will not hurt anyone who loves me, and no one would care about it, and I can just go to sleep and never wake up. I feel that's pretty good. If I have the choice, like no one, like there's some like setting I can choose. So after that, no one just remove all the memories from their brain, and they don't know, or they somehow just continue living without feeling pain. And I can just go sleep and never wake up. I feel okay. If I have this choice, I will do it.
Okay.
And so for me,
I'm too selfish to do that. I want people to remember me. Plus, I would not like to die in my sleep because it'd be like, you only die once. I don't want to miss it. Like I want to be there when it happens. I want to be.
But dying is so painful, so stressful. Why you want to be conscious when you die?
I don't know, because it only happens once. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, but I don't want to miss it.
Interesting.
I think so. Until the moment it happens, then I'll be like, I wish I was wrong. But at the moment when I'm alive, that's how I feel about it. So I don't know.
And with the anxiety, did you try to work with therapists or learn some tools to deal with it?
Well, except like the only tool that I have is the sexual fantasy. That's how I deal with it. And
how did you found out sexual fantasies can help?
I guess because I think about sex a lot. And then I was thinking that, and it was like, it's calming me down. Like if I think about sex, it's something very, it takes my mind off any other
How
thing.
about think about your grandma?
If I think about my grandma, again, no, because I'll be thinking about what if she dies and stuff like this, and that will be even worse. But with sex,
what if during sex you suddenly die?
Well, that's a good way to go. You came and went at the same time. So that'll be a good way. I won't complain about that. I guess, but I don't know. But I will. I haven't planned like to go also to therapy. Like my aunt, she's a therapist as well, so she said she recommended me, like if I want to go, she can recommend some people from Romania, like to.
So they're cheap.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what she said. Because she said, here in Germany, probably I have to pay like a lot of money for a therapist, and whereas in Romania it'll be cheaper. And also now that you can just do it like on the Zoom and stuff, so it is on my to-do list to do this as well. As well as many other things that I still have not started. But I think that will be, and I think sport, I think that's also one thing that I feel like I'm missing, and I feel it will help in the long term. Because I had sport in my life like before, and like I even went to gym or running or something, and I feel it's, it release the dopamines and all those other chemicals that makes you feel good. And I think that's helpful as well, at least in the beginning. Like in the beginning it feels good, but then it's like any other thing, you feel like, I have to do this also. Now I have more problems in my life. With
sports, I think we just need to be committed to accept the fact that we have to do exercise every day for the rest of our life. And if you think about, it's something I can start doing next week or next month, then you always delay it.
Of course. It's just something that I need to accept that you have to do, because these bodies, they're not meant to stay all day. I mean, they're not. That's not how we were built. And we need sports. And if there's no more tigers or something to fight with, we gotta make our own tigers.
Werewolves, vampires.
We need new enemies or something like this.
So, besides, do you also have issue with depression, or it's only anxiety?
Depression. Well, I don't know what to say about depression. Like I never got I never went to get checked for depression or something like this, so I would not know. Maybe I've been depressed all my life and I wouldn't even know it.
You know it when you're depressed.
I don't know. I mean, if it's there are some things that I read about depression. There's some things that match. Like for me, for example, I never woke up in any day of my life and be like, I'm looking forward.
Really?
to this. I mean, every day will be like, yeah, I gotta do this. It's a struggle. It will be a struggle every day, like an everyday struggle. But I guess I thought that's how it's supposed to feel.
Not necessarily. Sometimes I wake up quite happy and feeling, oh, it's a new day, it's so exciting, I can do stuff. And sometimes I wake up like, oh shit, I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
Do you have ever want to kill yourself?
Oh, I have suicidal thoughts on a daily basis, but.
And then you say you don't know if you have
No, but my suicidal thoughts, I don't know, they come in a different way. Like for example, I'll be waiting for the U-Bahn, and the first thing that comes into my mind is to jump in front of the U-Bahn. That's the first thing. Or like, I'm not afraid of heights, I'm afraid of jumping from those heights. Like that's it's not necessarily, but the first thing that came into my mind, whenever, like if it's a U-Bahn, if it's a car, if it's this window open, it'll be like to jump.
That sounds like a typical like anxiety symptom called the intrusive thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, my friend Franco, he talked about this. Franco's episode will be aired next week. Okay. So he talks about he have this thoughts if he's on a bridge, a thought will come to his mind and say jump. And then he has to go a detour to avoid that bridge because he's too afraid he'll jump.
I have this intrusive thoughts, or even sometimes like if I'll be near I don't know, like a large quantity of water, like the first thing that comes to my mind is to throw my phone into the water. I don't know why, but that's the first thing that comes into my mind. When I see water, I just want to throw my phone there.
Have you ever listened to the voice?
No, never. I'm always stopping myself, but but they come no matter what. Those are the first thing that come. I don't know. I guess it's some kind of desire to I don't know, self-destruction or something.
You know, I think I talk about the intrusive thoughts with people. On one hand, I think, of course, it's bad, it's annoying that your brain keeps sending all this stupid message to you. But on the other hand, I think it's also very beneficial in a way. For example, I met people, they say, okay, I am in this relationship, I have some doubts, and then they say, oh, but I'm very happy in this relationship, I don't understand, I have these doubts, maybe it's my intuition tell me I have to break up. And then they get really upset about, oh, should I really need to break up or should I not? Then why, if I shouldn't break up, then why my brain is telling me this? But on the other hand, for those people who have intrusive thoughts, for them it's very easy to understand the concept because my brain also tells me jump up from the bridge, do I really jump? So your brain gives you these thoughts, doesn't mean you always need to listen to it. So I think that's the bright side of it, intrusive thoughts come out as the most extreme version of irrational thoughts, but it teaches us a lesson that we shouldn't always listen to what our brain is talking.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We should listen to our hearts.
Our heart is also not really.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it's something with these thoughts, and I don't know if there's a way to stop them, or I guess the best thing is just to ignore them. But
I don't think so. I think I read a few books about this. I think the best way is to talk with it and roast it, make jokes about it.
I guess that will be the way, because there's no way, I don't think they can understand why having these thoughts.
For example, near the fat Jewish guy, he has intrusive thoughts very often, his brain keeps telling him to kill himself, and he start to chat with the source, say, oh, okay, how about let me eat this ice cream first? How about let me finish this Netflix TV series first. Okay, let's do it tomorrow. Shut up.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, I think somebody in stand up also had a bit about this. I think Carlin or something that who has time to kill himself because you have all these things that you have to do. You will keep postponing it until it happens naturally.
Yeah. I start to have intrusive thoughts. I think maybe earlier this year.
Okay.
Maybe I had it in the past. Maybe I was just not aware of it. But from this year, I start to become more and more aware of it. It just keeps It's just like a cloud, like it flies passing my brain. Sometimes I just how about cut myself?
Yeah.
How about die somehow? And then sometimes I even feel, oh, it would be so great if I can just cut myself and die.
Yeah.
I think probably I had it in the past, but I also was in depression. So when this happened, I thought, oh, I need to die. But now I'm not in depression anymore, so I can distinguish. Okay, like I definitely don't want to die.
Yeah.
But why I have these thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It is like that, but yeah, I don't know.
And was your intrusive thoughts when it started?
I guess those are also as long as I can remember.
How were you as a child?
How was I as a child? I don't know. I think like I will still go. Like I will go out of the house and stuff. Like I will have friends and things like this. But I spend also a lot of time like just watching cartoons, and I will spend a lot of time like imagining stuff, like creating scenarios in my head about different things. Like I will just have. And this will be like now for me looking in retrospect about it, I feel it's really weird because I'll have like sticks, like just sticks. Like I wouldn't even play with the toys. I'll just have a stick in my hand. And
Romanian life.
Yeah, but it's not like I was poor that I did not have toys. I had toys, but I was just playing with the stick. Like I would just have a stick in my hand and just like move it around and just create stories in my head.
Oh, okay.
So it was still the same, like creating all kind of scenarios. Or I'll be watching cartoons and I'll be thinking, I can think of a better episode than this. And now that's what I'll do with the stick. And I have all kinds of sticks, like, and I will choose them. Like they had to have like a certain, degree how they're turned. Like I will be picking them up. And I remember, I think even once, like my grandma's sister, like the sister of my grandma, she saw me and was like, "Oh, what is he doing? Is he praying or something? Like that he wants to become a priest or something like this?" And then I was ashamed a bit of it. Like I was ashamed since then of this thing with the stick, because I thought even then I thought it was weird. And then with time, I switched from sticks to straws.
How old were you?
So when I made the switch, so I played with sticks until like second grade maybe, and then I switched to straws. And also with the straws, I also have a system. Like I'll have the straw, and then you have this on one end that you sip from, and then I'll also flip it on the other end. So it'll be something like this. And I'll be playing with this straw the same way. Like I'll just came up with scenarios and all this kind of stuff.
Wow.
And I'll just be spending a lot of time just being in my head, inventing all kinds of things.
Wow. Were you a happy kid?
I guess so. I think so. I mean, now thinking about it, maybe it makes sense because, I don't know, maybe my parents, they were too busy, I don't know, fighting with each other or something. So I'll spend all my time, either watching cartoons or just inventing better realities or something like this. So, but that was good because if my parents were all the time busy fighting, they were never bothering me. So I could just play all day without anybody stopping. And then, I don't know, I think I stopped completely with the straws, like maybe around like 13 or something like this. When I start going out more.
Then you start to play with the other types of sticks.
Yeah, I switched to joints after that. But I don't know. Then I start going out more, like having more friends, and I guess being more sociable. So I didn't have that much time to play with my straws.
Uh-huh.
And
You mean the straw, not a...
yeah, no, like a literal straw.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. This is completely serious. This is how it happened. And now I think that straw is just turned into the writing. So the same kind of things that I've been doing since I was a kid, that now I do it, but just in stand up.
Wow, I envy you. Really, you were able to build this mental space and imaginary world for yourself.
Yeah, that's why I always. That's why for me everything. Like I think even all my memories, they're like the actual memory and then what I imagine on top of it. So I don't even remember now when I do it on stand up and it's something I don't even remember the actual version of things. I just see now the stand up version of it. So that's why I think that's why for me now stand up is just what I always been doing, but now other people can see it as well.
Yeah.
So that was the thing, and but I was deeply ashamed of it. Like also with this, because I wouldn't tell nobody. Like I wouldn't tell like the kids at school. Like
But they see you play with sticks.
no, because I wouldn't play. I'll do it. It'll be like a drug addiction for me. Like nobody will see it. I'll just go home and I'll lock myself in my room and just
Play sticks.
play with sticks and straws. That's what I think. Because I'll be ashamed. Like even I don't know. Like if me and my parents will be watching a movie, I'll be sitting under like my legs and I'll play with the straw like here. So
Are you sure it's the straw you are talking about or something else between your legs?
No, it's not a euphemism. It's an actual straw. That was an actual thing. As much as I would have liked to be normal and be a euphemism for something else, but no, that was it. It was just this straw. And even now, like now, if I see a straw, I'm looking a bit at it, like just remembering the old days, and then I'll just like put it back. I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. But yeah, that's how my childhood was.
This reminds me of Andy Kaufman.
Andy I know him.
He from what I know that he was also like playing with himself to a wall and making up stuff.
Yeah. That's why. I always been doing that, and also like my mind will be wandering. Like that's why I think there'll be two different things. Like you'll be these intrusive thoughts, but then I also have like wandering thoughts. Like I don't know, I'll be just sitting in class at school and I'll be thinking, what if somebody will come now with an axe or something like this? Like that, I'll be just thinking, like the teacher will be speaking and my mind will go to something like what if this will happen? What if this will happen? What if Robert De Niro will show up in our class? What would he say? All this stuff. And I'll be thinking, so I did not. So I think that was not good for my attention at school. I'll just be thinking about stuff like this. But
were you creative in some other ways before stand up?
I don't know. I think I mean in programming also when I started making video games. So that was my idea. And I had a video game. I made one like when I was 12th grade, like one that I put like on Google Play and stuff. And I had even on that one, I had each level that I made up, like how to be, and I had an ending for the game because it was like at the end of the game you die. That was my idea because I wanted to make it like more real. That at the end of the game it's just like, that's the end. The end
You
is
die.
You die. That was the idea for it. So I guess that was some part creative in that way. But then with time I just didn't. I kind of went away from it, and now that I found stand up, it's
How did you find out stand up?
Like so I have seen stand up since earlier, like when I was I don't know maybe like 13 or 14. It was this Romanian comedian. He had like this half an hour special, and it was just with one-liners and stuff. And I remember even now, after I saw that special, I wrote 3 jokes, 3 one-liners, and one of them I still remember to this day. And I can say it, but it's a terrible joke.
Tell me.
No, so my joke was this one-liner, and it was that people who have like Crohn's disease, it's like this disease that makes you go to the bathroom all the time. And I said that the people with Crohn disease must feel like kings because they're sitting all day on the throne, you know, like the toilet throne. So that was the joke. That was the first joke.
How old were you?
I guess like 14 or something like this.
Wow.
So at that time, and then I don't know. In high school, we watch a lot of Dave Chappelle, like like 3 a.m. in the ghetto. That was like the thing that we'll be watching all the time and laughing our ass off. And then when I actually started stand up, so it'll be 1 year and a half ago. I mean 2 years ago probably, when I decided I want to do it. But then there was the 6 months of procrastination in between, and I just wanted, because I was shy as a person, so I said if I go up on stage, that will help me, and if I make people laugh, that's a bonus. And it did not help whatsoever, but but I found a new passion and something that I was like, yeah, this is, I wanna do this. And especially so after like a week after the first time after I did my first stand-up show, and like I was at the party, and you know, at those parties, you know, they have these places where you leave your jacket, you know, you pay some money and you leave your jacket. And I left my jacket there, and the girl there at the counter, she asked me like, didn't you do stand-up last week? And it was like, oh yeah, how do you know? It was like, I saw you, I was there in the crowd. And I was like, oh geez. And then she just left, like nothing else came out of it. But it was just the idea, like, if I can, this is what I gotta be doing. If I can get recognized, that's what I gotta be doing. So yeah. And it was also good the first time. Like if the first time I had done stand-up, it wasn't good, I don't know if I would have done it. I think.
You never know, like.
I never know, but I'm happy that it went good the first time. I must say that. And the first time, I could not sleep the whole night after that.
For excitement?
No, I was just thinking about next jokes. Like I was just thinking, I'm gonna do this and this, and I even smoke weed, and it still didn't help me. Like I could not fall asleep because I was just, my mind was just racing with jokes. Like I gotta come up with this and this and all this stuff. So it was a great feeling. Like I would put the first time I did stand up like probably as the best feeling ever somewhere. Sex is also somewhere nearby. Like they're battling each other. But they're somewhere. Those are the best feelings I have experienced by far. So that's why.
Wow. So were you dreaming about being a stand-up comedian younger? Were you?
I don't know. I don't think so. I will never imagine myself doing it. And even now, like I was thinking a few days ago, I remember that when we were in high school, like at this bar where we used to go, one time there were some stand-up comedians that came there, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, at that point, I will never ever thought of doing this. Like I will never believe myself being able to be on stage and stuff like this. But I guess now with times, it makes sense why I did it, I guess, because I guess I never got enough attention as a kid, and now I'm begging strangers for it, and that's how it is. But yeah.
Were you a class clown?
No. I was quiet. I was not making anybody laugh, except maybe my desk mate or something like this. But other than that, no.
Were you known for a sense of humor?
No. Not at all.
So over the years, you never have the nature driven to make jokes?
I don't think so. Like I will have maybe just in a restrained group of friends, like we'll be doing this. Like I had this friend in high school, and we always used to roast each other. I'll just be telling him things like, I don't know, you look like you play football with the ball flat or something like this. Like all this kind of stuff. I used to roast each other. But I never related to comedy or something like this. But we were laughing a lot. Like I remember we were laughing all the time when we were sitting in our group. But I would not say not necessarily because of me. Maybe because of my laugh. I have an infectious laugh, so that was
How do you see stand up now? How do you see your relationship with stand up? How do you picture yourself in the future?
well, I hope to be like, I hope that stand up will be just my main occupation at some point, even though I know that's not gonna be the case, because I always like to do more than one thing. So if I do stand up, probably then I want to do other things. So I like to do, I don't know, movies and other stuff, or because I'll, but in still in the same way. So still to write, I guess that will be for me the main thing, like to spend more time just writing, because I like to write. And
So you have ambition and the drive to go professional at some point.
yes, yes, and my dream is to go up on stage and have music. Or that's
We can make that happen tonight. Like I play music from my iPhone.
yeah, but no, but I want, I have songs that I have in mind, like to play as intro, like when I come in, like I want to put like Destiny Child, Say My Name, and all these other Pussycat Dolls, Buttons, and all these kind of songs that I want to. That's my dream.
When did you realize? When did you sure about the comedy? When did you say, "Oh, this is something I want to do"? Like
From the first time.
Okay, for me it's the same.
I think I knew right away, because I had this feeling that, yeah, this what was missing. It was like I finally found a piece of the puzzle, which probably is still not is not a perfectly fitted piece of the puzzle. It's like a piece of the puzzle that.
But nothing is perfect.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Also.
And we grow into things.
Yeah. So the piece of puzzle becomes. I don't know, better. Whatever piece of puzzles do, I don't know.
I think for me, stand-up comedy is also the last thing I thought I would imagine myself doing.
Yeah.
But the moment I did it, I realized, oh, now everything makes sense.
Yeah, it clicked.
Yeah, wow, this feeling is like, I feel I'm on top of the whole universe.
Yeah. Attention is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
That's true. And I don't think, and I think anybody. I think anybody who gets up on a stage definitely has a desire for attention.
I think it's not only attention, because, for example, I used to have stage fright.
Yeah.
And I feel afraid when in a company meeting with 4 people.
Okay.
I think it's not the attention is being the attractive part, but when I realize I have the power to kind of like manipulate people's emotions, like just by I say something, they sometimes they even like uncontrollably. It's just like magic. Like you say something, and they just do the reaction.
Yeah, it is something. And what I wanted to say, I just forgot. I had this thought in mind. What did I want to say? Yeah, and I think it's also that that is something out of your mind that people like. I guess that's also like a beautiful thing. It's like something that I thought of. You think it's funny, like.
Now I read I read a book about the flow state. Have you heard
flow? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know,
and with all the description, I realized, oh, that's why stand-up comedy is such a pleasant, addictive thing, because in essence, it's a flow state.
Yeah, that's
like
true. You're in the moment.
You get the feedback so fast. You know how well you are doing, and make you hyper focus. And it's just you cannot think about anything else. Your mind is right here, right now.
Yeah, and that's why it's beautiful. And that's why I think you cannot, once you experience that, other things cannot give you, like, for example, in programming, it's almost impossible for me to reach that state of complete flow or something like, just because I guess also programming, it's aimed at like higher levels of rationality or something, whereas stand-up hits more to our primordial feelings.
Yeah.
So that's why it's also more it's more personal and more intimate, I guess. Not necessarily intimate, but I guess inner. It hits more to our inner,
like our gut feelings.
Yeah. So that's why I think it's, once you feel that, of course you will ride that train.
And I think I'm not a developer, but I feel on the other hand also like if you make the greatest joke ever, everyone can appreciate its beauty. Like it's just,
Yeah.
but with code, you need to have people who's willing to sit down and to read it, to review it,
Yeah.
to know its beauty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. And I guess, although I maybe like what lasts longer, because yeah, a joke it's a one-time thing, you know. Like if somebody heard it once, they laugh, but then if you hear it another time, they're not gonna laugh anymore. Whereas in programming, you make something and it can still be used for a longer period
I
of time.
disagree. Like there are so many like great comedy.
There are. I mean, for me also, that I rewatch your stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
also you lose. It's how to say initial, like the first time. Yeah, that's the best time. You know,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, yeah.
it's not like if you rewatch it again, you're gonna get the same feeling that you
Yeah.
get the first time.
True.
But you can say it about the program also. Like you can say, for example, a building lasts for years, decades, whereas application lasts for how long it's trending. Like even Facebook or any other, like for this big application, they will die off at some point. And whereas this building will still be here, people will still be moving in and out.
Not if someone bomb it.
Yeah, that's true.
So with the anxiety, did you ever get diagnosed?
No, I've never been diagnosed because I never been to like a doctor. Like I've been to many doctors, but I've been
In Romania or in Denmark?
like for example with these things like with the shaking and stuff. Those one I've been in both countries, both in Denmark and Romania, and they still didn't figure out what was it.
With your Romanian family and friends, when you tell them about anxiety, do you think they understand what's the culture for mental health there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think probably it's somewhere in behind about it. And I guess so. People, I don't think probably they wouldn't take it as serious. I mean, we barely even have vegan food, so you can imagine what's the state about mental health. So I guess, but now I cannot really recall. Like I guess in the past, when I've been to Romania, now I don't think I talked that much about the anxiety and stuff because if my friends from back home, I see them, you know, once every few months or something like this. So when we meet, it's not like I'm coming and talking about my panic attacks and stuff like this. But I think I did mention, and I think another thing that will come from the anxiety attack, and this is also the hypochondria.
What's that?
Hypochondria, you know, it's like this fear that you always have, like at any, I don't know, like if my legs hurts, I'm already thinking like, I have like a, I don't know, like I'm gonna die, I'm gonna have a stroke or something like this just because my leg hurts or something like that.
You are really afraid of dying.
I am deeply afraid of dying. But I think in a way it also pushes me, like motivates me in a way, because I feel like, you're gonna die, I have to do all these things before that. But at the same time, it's like, how it's called, like a blade with two ends, you know?
Sauce.
Yeah, a sword with two ends. So it's killing me and pushing me at the same time, if that makes sense. And with the hypochondria, that one, it's also something that I think is definitely related to the mental like health and something. And therefore that one I really want to get checked on, because I had problems, like even at my previous job, where I was still living in Denmark, I would spend like 2 hours like on the internet, like looking, rereading the same stuff, and just like in a obsessive compulsive way. Like I could not stop. I'll just be reading and reading, and when you read on the internet, there's nothing good coming out.
Like my ass is bleeding.
Yeah.
You either ate something too spicy or you are going to die.
Yeah. And I always find the worst in everything. So that's why I'm always picking the worst part, and I'm thinking about those things, and that one brings me even more anxiety. And I guess the anxiety makes me feel even worse the pain. And
Do you read books about it?
My my friend just recommended me
Mm.
actually a book. They said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy you this book because I know how you are," and he
Mm.
always do this thing. So just read this book instead of
Mm.
googling things
Yeah,
online.
I think like reading books, like it's a revolution for me.
Mm,
uh, I realized there are so many great books and lots of
yeah,
issues. Like people already have been experienced, they already have lots of researches, and it's way better than googling stuff online.
yeah. That's true.
Because like googling stuff, you see one web page, but if you read books, it's a whole book. You know
Yeah,
every part of it. You don't. They don't need to have like a big headline to attract you.
yeah.
And I learned lots of tools to deal with my issues, and uh, I never feel my life is under such control. Control is a bad way to describe it, but let's say I feel it's the first time I have influence over my emotions. I don't
Mm-hmm.
let emotions to carry me around. Like
Okay,
I,
like take a hold of you.
yeah, and I feel like even in the past when I wake up, I feel shit. Then it
Mm-hmm.
will be a shit day. And now when I wake up, it's shit. I have tools. I have like tricks to do to make
Okay.
me feel better. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel okay. I can steer my emotions. I can make it to a better direction instead of like in a river. I just get carried away.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So now you say you're in the canoe
Mm-hmm.
over the river.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, do you know anyone who's depressed in Romania?
If I know anyone who's depressed,
Oh, all of them?
uh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe people will be depressed, but they won't say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they will just go on with their lives
Mm-hmm.
and things like this.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know about my parents. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if they're depressed. You could probably say that
Mm-hmm.
like based on my father alcohol consumption and
Ah.
my mother, yeah, whatever she's doing.
With your father's alcohol consumption, did you think the alcohol issue of his has impacted you some way?
Mm, not I mean I feel that it wasn't impacting me, but it was impacting the relationship between my parents,
Mm-hmm.
and the relationship between my parents
Mm.
impacted me
Okay.
because I will feel like their problems are also my problems,
Mm-hmm.
and that I'll just
Mm.
put things on top of me that it would not not
Mm.
be helpful because I cannot control. I have
Mm.
no control over those things. That's their life, their choices.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was a kid, yeah, that was one thing that I
How,
guess affected me. That I would take these problems of mine and
how did you cope with it? Stuart.
by moving away. So not living there anymore. I think that's help,
Mm.
and because now when I go there, I only see the good parts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the bad part anymore. Even though it still, I know it still happens. Because even
Mm.
happened to me, like I don't know, like my mom will call me, crying or something like this. So I'll still know, like
Mm.
when that will happen, then I'll be reminding myself of all the problems in the past
Mm-hmm.
and things like this. But I know it's nothing that I can
Mm-hmm.
do of like it's their life,
Mm-hmm.
their decisions, their choices, and I gotta figure the problems in my life because like it's not I cannot help others if I cannot help myself.
With the past, do you think you already have dealt with it, or you are still not
Mm,
aware of them?
I think no, I think it's a part of me, and there are still probably things that yeah I should go and deal with. Like for example, I had once this dream where I was like screaming at my father,
Mm.
and I was like hitting him and stuff, and it was weird because after I woke up, I felt like the most relief in my life. Like I
Ah.
feel like I had this mountain on my
Mm.
heart that I just took off because I could finally express those
Wow.
emotions, and I was like, Yeah, but that's not the way you should feel about your father. That if you beat him, you'll get pleasure out of it. But that's how I felt in that moment. And it's not like in real life I could take these feelings and say directly, because you will hurt the other person.
Yeah.
And then you will make the situation even worse. Like, you cannot. That's one question that I think I have exactly for a therapist. Like, what do you do with feelings that you have, but you know they're gonna hurt the other person, but you still have them? You cannot change the way you feel. That's how I feel. I cannot change it. But if I say it, then I'm ruining other things. So I don't know. I guess you just have to live with those feelings and, I don't know, pack them somewhere. Like a bag at the airport, and just go with it.
Are you able to talk about your emotions, and are you aware of your emotions?
I guess I will say that I'm aware of some of them, at least. Like, I can, because I think about it. So that's why. So I'll be thinking about it, and I don't know. I guess through writing, that's when I will be able to take those emotions and put it in a way. And that's why I think with stand-up is like a creative outlet where I can put those emotions and sprinkle some jokes on top of it, and then voila, it's funny now. So I guess that's the way. But I know that probably the deeper root of these problems is still there, so it's definitely needed some extra help, like for a professional, and not.
Do you think yourself? Do you consider yourself as a pessimistic or positive person, like optimistic or pessimistic people?
I think I'm the the most optimistic, pessimistic person. Like, probably I have a a cynical view about a lot of things, but I look at them in a positive way. So I will say, I will say I'm pretty positive towards, like, anything. For me anyway, I feel that anything can happen. Anything happens to me, I'll just make a story out of it. So that's why I feel that.
This is a mindset you have already before stand up, or is something you developed?
No, I think I have it even before. I was just like, whatever happens, you have a story out of that, good or bad.
Yeah, that's
the
so
better
good.
it is, the better the story will be. the good story is not like, but there could be sometimes it could be like on a short term or of a long term. Like, you can have a bad thing that happened to you that will be funny in a short term, but if that bad thing didn't happen, like, I'll give you an example of this that I think of. So one time, after like a show at the stand-up, this girl came to me like after the show and was like, I really like your sexual jokes, this kind of stuff. And then we got talking, and then out of this small town mentality that I have, she was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna leave now. And all I could come up with was, oh, okay, see you around. And that's the only thing I said.
Otherwise, what do you want to say?
I don't know. Probably I'll ask her at least for her number or something like this.
You like the girl?
Yeah. That's why I said we had a good conversation, everything, and she said that thing with, I like your sexual jokes also. I don't know. Probably that would have been a good sign, as much as I can tell. And and see, this was funny in a short term. But if I would have said something, so this bad situation, if I would have said something and it would have turned out good, then maybe I would have get something funny, but in the long term. So there's also this difference between short term funny and long term funny things that can happen. So that's, I don't even know what was the beginning of this question. I don't know what tangent I went to, but go ahead and continue.
Wow. So, does any girl who come to you telling you they like your sexual joke, you will want to date them?
If she said that, like, for me, that's
Did you have some criteria or standards? Like, or
Me?
any female, like
Ah.
any age group, like
No, I have no standards. I'll take, I had these jokes also I haven't do it at stand up, but I thought already about it. I said I've been single for so long, that I became pansexuals.
oh, what's pansexual?
Like you'll just have sex with everything, like if I'll see a squeaky chair, I'll just break it down. And yeah, that's how I look at things.
Okay.
So I have no standards that I can.
Okay, that's nice to know, audience. Come to his show, tell him you like his sexual jokes. No age standards, no any standards.
No standards. I'll just go all in.
What if it's a grandma?
What if it's a grandma?
Yeah.
If it's a good-looking grandma, I don't know.
Oh, okay. How do you define good-looking grandma?
I cannot tell. You'll probably be on the spot. Like I'll just have to see it. Cause it's not like you don't choose who you like or what you like. It's just you decide to react on it.
Okay.
But you cannot choose what you like.
Okay. Nice to know. Grandmas.
Grandmas are welcome.
Yeah. Grandmas welcome. Maybe you can start a stand-up comedy like Grandmas welcome.
Yeah.
Have you watched Don't Mess with Zhang?
I think I have watched.
Maybe you can start a stand-up comedy show, and after the show, you just shack the grandmas in the green room.
Okay. But so stand up targeted to the older audiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be something, but I guess there will not be here in Germany. There won't be that many older people that will know.
No, there are lots of old people.
Now there are lots, but maybe they don't know English that well.
I'm sure, like for example, I know there's a large American community in Berlin, and I'm sure lots of old Americans here in Berlin too. And also grandmas, they don't have to understand your jokes.
Yeah, that's true. I'll see.
Okay, I think that's a idea we can like pencil it down. Like
I'll write it down.
I think it can be part of community service, like grandma's happy and the comedians have a stage time, and we reduce another potential rapist or pedophile. Yeah, good for everyone.
Yeah, that's an idea. It is. I'll write it down. I'll take on my phone. I'll remember about it.
Okay, cool. So now it comes to the end of the podcast.
Okay, we're already at the end. My God, it went out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. Time passed. So do you have anything to talk with our audience? Grandmas welcome.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to tell to the audience. Just come to the shows, I guess. Check Comedy in English Berlin, and most likely I'll be at one of those shows, I guess. And other than that, I don't have yet something to announce.
How about don't kill yourself?
Yeah, and don't kill yourself. Killing yourself is like walking down an escalator. Why hurrying? You're gonna end up there anyway. So.
But like if I shouldn't argue that. Okay, I will save my.
If you have something to say.
Yeah, because I think your analogy is not really like making sense, because you're walking down the elevator, eventually you will be there. But what if like you are so much in pain and you are on fire, the whole body like running down it's a better choice if you are on fire.
No, if you're fine, you can take the elevator there. And then I don't know what the elevator will be an analogy for, but.
So, what's your favorite comedy special?
What's my favorite comedy special? That's a good question. I will have to say. That's a very hard question to say. So. I think, probably I will have to put, I guess, you will either be the Richard Pryor one, so I guess, live in concert. That'll be the first because he had the bit that inspired me the most. So that one.
What was the bit?
Now it's a bit about him having a heart attack and how he made it so hilarious that I thought, okay, if he can make fun about heart attacks, then maybe then I could also make epilepsy funny. So that was the idea of it. So I really like that one. And then another one that probably I will be, I guess also that I watch a lot of times. Yeah, will also be the Dave Chappelle one, the Killing Me Softly, because that one I feel is just a mix of, he had his like social commentary about stuff, and then he was really funny about all these other things, like yeah, with even like the things that you will not necessarily relate to, because yeah, I'm not black, so I'm not necessarily relate to that, but he made it so funny that it was just great. And then another one, okay, I already said, but I'll just say also the Mike Birbiglia, My Girlfriend, Boyfriend.
Fuck, I love that
I
one.
think that one, it's
Like, I think like his style inspired me a lot because like among all those shows on Netflix, I think his work is most close to what I have in mind for my own style. Because he's like really in between storytelling and kind of like monologue and stand up. Like it's like being vulnerable, telling a story, and giving people different perspective of life.
And I think that was one of the things that I like the most about all these stand-up comedians is the vulnerability. So talking about you having a heart attack, like talking about setting yourself on fire and all these things. So I think that's what I appreciated the most. This vulnerable comedy, because that's fun, you know, when you take things out of you and people can.
And I feel it's also very good for yourself and for others, because we have so much shame in us, and being able to talk about it, making people laugh, is so empowering. And then as soon as you talk about it, you realize, oh, actually there are so many people experience the same thing. Why should I be ashamed for so long? And on the other hand, I think it's also a very good contribution to the pop culture, because I think in the society and lots of like the movie culture and everything is perfect, everything is dramatic, and give lots of people, especially young people, a realistic perception of this world.
Expectations. I can see that. And but I think sometimes the pop culture also, it's this thing, you know, that some people, how to say, like when like, for example, more I think in the music, you know, that they like this kind of people that are like drug addicts or something like this, like those people, they are crying for help, while the other, like the audience, they like it, and it's like they're making a lot of money and stuff, but those people, they're still crying for help in all the songs. And still, it's like, you know, it's like it's cool to make depressed music, but it's not cool for you to be depressed. So I think.
Oh, I am still cool. I was depressed, but.
But I guess that was the point.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for calling me and to come here. And I had such a good time. I didn't realize what time passed. Like I was like, it was really fun. I'll just say that. It was really fun. My review on Yelp.
Okay, cool. Thanks, audience. And today we get to know some Romanian vampires. And the main takeaway is don't take care of yourself. Okay, see you next episode. Bye-bye.